to express of how they wanted to exemplify Black history in the making. We want to thank Miss Lanier, one of our seventh grade assistant principal, and Miss Marissa Satcham for all of your guidance and leadership to see this project through. Thank you all for joining us tonight. We can't wait to see all the great things some of our staff and our students have to put together. I hear it's going to be big. So I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Patton at this time. And no, you don't want to hear from me. So I can't wait to see what's going on. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Smith. Sorry, guys. Thank you, Ms. Smith. So again, like Ms. Smith said, my name is Marissa Satcham. I am an 8th grade teacher at Farnsley Middle School. I teach science. Miss Lanier and I, with several other adults in the building, have been working with our students since about September to create our Black Student Union. And Ms. Lanier is going to kind of take over now and discuss the why or the purpose of BSU, and sort of how it all started and what our outlook of BSU is at Farnsley.
Thank you, Ms. Satcham. First of all, welcome everybody. It's so good to have everyone with us. Like I said this morning in our staff meeting, I feel like an expectant mother. I'm so proud of this project and all of the adults and the students who have contributed to this. As Ms. Satcham was saying, Black Student Union is something that is very close and near and dear to my heart. As an assistant principal at Ramsey Middle School 2 years ago, I helped to start a student union. And then after coming to Farnsley, it was my desire last year to start one, and it just did not materialize. And so we were just committed this year to ensuring that it would happen. And as it would turn out, the district would make it mandatory that every school would have a Black Student Union at the middle and high school level. So in thinking about what is our goal, what is our aim, the aim of and the vision of the Black Student Union is to ensure that we are providing a safe space for our students of color, that we are educating and preparing students for excellence in how they conduct themselves, in how they perform academically, in how they perform in their community, with an emphasis on service and advocacy and activism. And finally, to ensure that we are promoting people of color and putting positive images in front of our students and building and instilling in them the confidence and the capacity that they need to be successful. So that's really our vision and our purpose for our Black Student Union. We meet twice a month. We are inspired at every meeting by our students. We have students who have participated and who participated all last summer in the demonstrations and protests here in the city. It's really amazing when we allow a space and a place for our students' voices, what can come forth. So we are just thrilled and honored for the opportunity. We thank you that you trust us with your children, and we value that. And please know that our commitment is and always will be to ensure that we're doing everything we can, not only for our students of color, for all of our students, but particularly for our students of color, to have every opportunity and access for success. So just a little bit really quickly about how History in the Making came to be, because our organization, we are really trying to move to a place where it is student-led as opposed to adult-centered. And when we talked with the students, they were quick to bring up a couple of names that come to mind during Black History Month. For example, Rosa Parks, Martin Luther King Jr., Harriet Tubman. Those are people that are hugely important, but are also very familiar. And with everything that happened in our nation, and particularly in our city in the last year, we thought that it would be very relevant and very timely, because we are truly living in a historic moment. We are living history. And so we thought, why not create a program where students and adults can share people who have helped shape our histories that are even in our own lives, not just people we read about in books or see on television or have heard a speech by. And so with that in mind, we really opened it up to give students opportunities and mediums to share their interpretations of people who were instrumental in the history of their making. So without further ado, I present to you Farnsley's History in the Making Black History Program.
Finding an African American that influences my life was so easy for me because I didn't even have to leave my home to find him. My husband, Dr. Eric A. Johnson, is an African American figure who inspires me daily. Matter of fact, he is the only African American in the whole state of Kentucky that has a PhD in theology.
This is where Dr. Eric A. Johnson started his path to greatness. He's such a wonderful historical figure. Dr. Johnson, would you please tell us your path to greatness?
Sure. I made my climb, first of all, with the D's. Desire. I had the desire to be the best servant I could be. Second of all, I made my climb with discipline. I had to discipline my life to reach for the goals that God wanted me to reach for. And then there was determination. I decided I would not let anyone or anything stop me. And then that always resulted in delight. I was able to graduate and move forward and do the things God called me to do. So that's how the Lord has blessed me to get where I am today.
The Southern Baptist Theological Seminary, he landed right here at the Greater Galilee Baptist Church. He has been the pastor of this church for the last 25 years, doing so many great things in the best end, the west end of Louisville, Kentucky. So many great things that the city decided to rename a portion of 40th Street after Dr. Eric A. Johnson, Dr. Eric A. Johnson Way.
So we have been talking about all the things that you have done. Can you tell us in your life, like who motivated you or inspires you to want to continue to be great?
The first person that really set my soul on fire was President Benjamin Elijah Mays, past sixth president of the Morehouse College, and he served a tenure there of 30 years. He said the tragedy of life is not that one doesn't reach their goals. The tragedy of life is that they have no goals to reach. Second person that really solidified my quest to be excellent was a woman by the name of Barbara Jordan. She was the first woman after Reconstruction to ever be elected in Texas to a public office. Also, she was in 1976, where I heard her, 1976 Speaker at the Democratic Convention. And she said, what America wants is simple. America wants an America that lives up to the promise of America.
We thank you for your time today. We thank you for being such a wonderful, wonderful African-American male figure in the state of Kentucky. You are definitely a history in the making.
Thank you.
Dear Black child, you are worthy, smart, and very powerful. Don't let anything make you feel less. Build encouragement and communicate with your peers. Grab my hand and have no fears. Use your voice and show no stages of fear. Be quiet and wipe all those tears. While you wipe all those tears, come together and we can start the cheer. I know this world is messed up, but be grateful you made another year. We lost so many powerful and amazing people to this messed up world and society. Now it's time to fight. Hands up, don't shoot. We're angry and tired of it. All these things building up inside, making us shout. No justice, no peace. Prosecute the police. Us Black citizens shouldn't have to go through this. It feels like we're getting dragged on a leash like a dog. History keeps repeating itself. We are tired of it. We are tired of it. We are tired. And all these peaceful protesters getting shot with rubber bullets and getting tear gas for fighting for our rights and everything that is right. They're just mad. They don't want to hear the truth. We have little ones crying, why can't the world be equal? This is very sad. They laugh and giggle about some of us not having dads. They make remarkable jokes and comments about us. So don't forget, dear Black child, smile and carry on this world with your beautiful melanated skin that shines like gold. Bye.
project, I will be reading a poem I wrote about Nate Marshall. He is a man still alive and making history today. He is a poet, an editor, a playwright, a professor, and a professional learner. Nate Marshall. When I was a child, your teenage self taught me our voices are louder than a bomb through the documentary you starred in by the same name. When I was in college, upon hearing you were now a professor there, I immediately ran to your office and our friendship, our mentorship was formed. Your adult self taught me that writing brings out the best in us. It allows us to tell our stories. It allows others to listen through the invisible voices in their head to thoughts they have thought themselves but could never say. Your adult self taught me to respect women for all of their values and strength while seeing all of the emotions that men hide behind walls that need to be knocked down. Your adult self taught me that those older than us can teach us the value of living, while those younger than us can teach us the value of imagination. You see that the world struggles, that these problems have existed for years, but that they can be fixed through educating ourselves, fixed through the inspiration of all of our voices, fixed through the determination to show the value in every one of us. You wake up every day hoping to learn something new, a characteristic we should all strive to have, a characteristic that I've learned from you. I learned of you as a child, met you as a student, and now I hope to teach others what you have taught me. Thank you, Nate Marshall. Last thing I want to do is I want to hype up his new poetry book that came out in 2020. It is called Finna, and the description is a lyrical and sharp celebration of the Black vernacular, its influence on pop culture, its necessity for familial survival, its role in storytelling, and in creating the safety found only within its intimacy. So I highly recommend checking it out. Thanks, y'all.
2020's been a messed up year. Thankful to the people who made it out alive. RP to George Floyd and Breonna Taylor. They lit a spark in people who said it was time to fight. And yeah, we can't forget the OGs like MLK and Rosa Parks, walking down the road fighting for our peace and rights. MLK marching down the streets in Washington, D.C., and he told everyone that he had a dream. Rosa Parks refused to move out of her seat. She knew her worth, that she was equal no time for the feet. And of course, we can't forget the OGs before the OGs like Harriet Tubman and Sojourner Truth, making us a place for people to escape. Time to be free for the bruise on our face. We lost John Lewis, who was a state representative, congressman, statesman, and activist. He made a new life for him. Wasn't scared to be black in America. I know it's not easy, but we need to own our skin, love it, know that it's pretty. 2020's been a messed up year. Yeah, I know. And I'm thankful for the people who made it out alive, though. But for the people who didn't, I pray every day. Thankful for them in every type of way. And yeah, we come a long way from what we used to be, but we have a long way to go from what we can see. But we made it. 2021 is finally here. It's time to shout out loud and scream out free. Because we're all equal, all human, and we all have a beating heart. And that's why 2021 is the new start.
Okay, hey everybody. I'm excited today to present to you for the first ever Farnsley Black Student Union program here, History in the Making for Black History Month. And I want to feature someone for History in the Making that's had a big difference in my life. And that's obviously Alvin Scott right here. And for those of you who may not know Alvin Scott, some of these sixth graders or some of the parents, he's one of our behavior coaches here at Farnsley. But he's so much more than that, as you guys might guess. You know, he's a head basketball or football coach. You know, he sponsors our Men Equality program. But he does so much more here at Farnsley for our staff and our students. And he's got relationships with so many people. You know, he walks in the door, he doesn't quit working, he goes hard till he leaves. And he's been an inspiration for me for a long time. And I got to go back a little bit back in the day, Mr. Scott, and say when I first started here, I did my internship program as a beginning teacher, and we worked together to mentor some students from the very first. And I learned a whole lot about just forging relationships with students, how to motivate kids, how to hold them to a high standard, but still be flexible and empathetic with them. And then as I grew as a teacher, you know, he was right here with me to help me along the way. And then I became a counselor, and it was like a whole new set of skills, you know. It's not about just motivating academically, but, you know, forging those relationships and motivating on a personal level. And, you know, Mr. Scott's just been there, you know. So I called him the other day and I said, hey, I want to feature you for our history program for Black History Month. And he was very touched and very humble, as you might imagine. But I just asked him some questions about himself, and he didn't really want to share a whole lot, you know. But a few things that he shared with me were some of his motivation. He shared with me a quote from Nelson Mandela about leading people from behind, kind of being there for them, but allowing them to elevate themselves. And that spoke to me, and I thought, man, that's what I see you do, you know. But he's been in this business a long time, you know. I mean, this isn't new for him. He's been motivating people, advocating people for years. Way back when, he shared with me one time, he probably don't want me to tell you the date, but way back in high school, he started his first Black student union in West Virginia, you know. And then he went to work for adults. Yeah, I got a good memory. Yeah. You know, in Knoxville, he worked with the citizen police force. He was recognized as an up-and-coming leader. He got to meet the President of the United States, and then kind of found a calling working with students. And we're real lucky to have him here in Farnsley and Louisville. I mean, I can tell you how lucky I am. And a quote that came to me when I thought of Alvin was Frederick Douglass' quote, where it's easier to build strong children than repair broken men. And I think that just made me think of Alvin so much. So I wanted to take a moment and share my appreciation with you. This is history in the making. This is building the future right here. This is Alvin Scott working with our current students, our former students, and watching them grow. And I asked him what he's most proud of, and of course he said his children. McConnell scholars, I was lucky enough to have his daughter in class and watching them grow. And then he loves when he sees his former students come back and check in with him, and that's just to him the most proudest things that he's got. So I want to acknowledge him, and I want to let him say a few words.
Man, there's nothing else I can say, man. Thank you, Mr. All. Love you, brother.
Hey,
love working with you, man. Man, keep it up, man. We got to keep it going, don't we?
Yes, we do.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We will, man. It's going to help the whole world, not just Farnsley, man.
That's right.
No.
June 15, 1921, Coleman became the first Black woman and the first Native American to earn a pilot license, and the first Black person and first Native American to earn a divisional license from Federation. Accused. The cause of death was an accident. She was born on January 26, 1892, Atlanta, and died April 30th, 1926. Birthplace, Atlanta, Texas. Beth E. Coleman picked cotton as a child, but her mother was determined that her 13th children get an education.
Crystal Lanier, and I'm one of the assistant principals here. The person who I am featuring as part of my history in the making is not only a friend, she was a colleague, and she was my pastor. The woman that I speak of is Marcia J. Cole Morton, who is currently the pastor of the Stoner Memorial AME Zion Church. In addition to being a pastor, she is also a JCPS retiree. She was the athletic director at the Brown School for a number of years. She is revered and esteemed and is in the Hall of Fame of the Kentucky High School Athletic Association. She is also in the Hall of Fame for Kentucky Metro Athletic Directors. And she is also a graduate of Louisville Male High School and is in their Hall of Fame as well. She holds degrees from Western Kentucky University, Simmons Bible College, and the Louisville Presbyterian Seminary. She was my pastor for 5 years, and as much as she was my spiritual shepherd, she was my friend. Everything that she does is done with honor and dignity and grace. She is truly a shaper of the history of my life, and I will forever be indebted to her for that. I present to you Marcia J. Cole Morton.
Thank you, Crystal Lanier. What an awesome introduction. And what a privilege it is to be with you during your Black History celebration. I am grateful to God for this opportunity. I'm grateful to God for all the accolades that you heard that Crystal Lanier spoke of, but none of that is more important than my journey with God. And as she said, I met her at Sprague Memorial AME Zion Church where I was a pastor. She came in and it was easy to talk to her because I could see there was something about God in her. And being a person who pastors an African American church, we did not just limit ourselves to people who look like us, but everybody was welcome. And when Crystal came in as a person who was hungry and thirsty for God. And so her journey with people who do not look like her had nothing to do with our color, but it had to do with the God that she saw. And so I'm very grateful that I had an opportunity to be with her, had an opportunity to see her grow spiritually, the opportunity to understand it's not the color of your skin, but it's the God who dwells within. So when I look at her and I look at others, I understand. My favorite scripture says, your eye have not seen, your ear have not heard, neither have entered into your heart the things that God has prepared for those who love him. Even as our country is divided, we understand that we too one day will all be together. We'll all walk as one. And it's as I was listening to Alvin Gordon the other day, Amanda Gordon, let me make that clear. Amanda Gordon. It's not our hands that pull down, it's our hands that reach out and pull each other up. So thank you for this opportunity. It's truly a privilege and an honor to even know that someone looks up to you, but she doesn't realize I look up to her just that much because I praise God for her hands touching children every day, that they will one day say, it is because of Crystal Lanier I am where I am today. Thank you.
Jackie Robinson was the first African American to play Major League Baseball in the United States during the 20th century. On April 15, 1947, he broke the decades-old color line of Major League Baseball when he appeared on the field for the National League Brooklyn Dodgers in a game against the Boston Braves. His number, 42, is the only number retired throughout Major League Baseball.
Well, that was our history in the making video. I just want to say thank you to everyone who submitted something, whether you were a student or teacher, and just as a support system. We have such a strong support system in Black Student Union, and the students, the teachers, the administrators that are there to support us, and all of the hands who helped make that video something special. It just really, it makes my heart happy, and it makes me blessed to be a part of this. But before we do close out, we have a couple of we just have a couple of things left. We now want to get your all's thoughts and hear what you're feeling from that video. So we do have a Mentimeter to show this going live. Give me just a moment and I will drop the link and share my screen. So with the Mentimeter, we have a prompt that says, what power word or words come to mind when you think Black History Month? Here is the link that I'm dropping in the chat for you to join. We are asking for you, again, to put what word or words come to mind when you think of Black History Month. And this is in real or live time. So as people start submitting their words, you will begin to see these pop up. So as you can see, we have unity, beautiful, power, inspirational, leadership, endless possibilities, Black Lives Matter, power words that represent the African American community, because that's what it is. Black history is excellence. Black history is powerful, and it is constantly in the making. That is one thing that we've pushed with our students, is to see that whether it happened 10 minutes ago, 10 months ago, 10 years ago, or way back before they can even imagine, it's history. They are constantly making history as 11, 12, 13, and 14-year-olds. And they believe in themselves way more than we can possibly imagine. And their confidence in their skin color and their ability is endless and so powerful. All of these words that you all have popping up here completely describe our experience in Black Student Union twice a month. It's the best time of my week and sometimes the best time of my month, just to hear those students and see what they bring to the table, and our teachers and administrators as well. So you can see that the bolded word in the beginning, or the bolded word in the middle, or the word that continuously pops up but stays predominantly larger than others, are the words that have multiple submissions. So love, powerful, unity, courage. Those are 3 words that are constantly being submitted by you all, parents, students, and teachers. So I just want to thank you for participating in our Mentimeter and kind of our bit of reflection. Does anyone have any questions or comments after viewing the video and participating in our discussion tonight? And feel free to come off mute or write in the chat.
Ms. Satrom, I would be remiss because earlier I failed to recognize Ms. Courtney DeKester. This truly would not have happened without her. She was the architect of the video that you saw tonight, and her creativity and her commitment to the Black Student Union, and for creating this piece of art. I'll just call it what it is. It's a piece of art, and we are so proud of it. So Courtney, I thank you. Thank you for all that you did to make this possible.
I just want to say how amazing everyone is on this call tonight, everyone who's taken the time to come out and see the compilations from staff and students. This is just the start. I am so enthralled with everything, all the expressions of love and the information shared and the complete unity about what it meant to them. History in the making. I just feel like it's just going to keep growing and growing, and it is going to be amazing. I just can't wait to see how much bigger it'll be. So proud of the leadership that is going on here at Farnsley. Great job. Great job. Keep it up.
Thank you, Ms. Smith and Ms. Lanier. Amaya, your hand's raised. Do you want to go next, sweetheart?
Yes. Why do people do protests? Why do people do protests?
What did you say,
Amaya, that's a great question, Amaya, because we've seen a lot of protests on the news happening all around the country and even in our own city. And because in our country we have a constitution that allows us the freedom of assembly and peaceful protest, when there are things about our country that are not just and are not equal, then one of the great characteristics of our country is that we can speak out against it and that we can gather in groups of people who share similar ideas and views that we hold, and we can say no, and we can ask and even demand for change. So protesting is one of the ways that we as Americans hold our government accountable, because our country, our Constitution says we the people, and we are the people. And so protest is a physical way and a verbal way to stand up and say, no, it's time for change.
Good question, Amaya.
Thank you.
Alrighty, guys. Are there any other questions, comments, or concerns? Ms. Lanier, I want to thank you for your explanation and all of your hard work and dedication. Your partnership between you and Miss Courtney DeCuster, you all probably are tired of me calling about this, but I appreciate you all in every step of the way to make this possible, as well to all of the parents, students, and staff members on this call. Thank you for attending tonight's parent night and seeing our History in the Making program. I know it means the world to us, and I hope it means the world to you all.